Anthony Richardson. We all know his size, his arm strength.
Yeah.
This guy is the most inaccurate quarterback I think I have ever seen that is that talented. He also almost reminds me of what's his name from the Raiders.
Yep.
He's just
DeMarcus
no way.
Russell.
Yeah, no way. There's no way. I mean, you'd have to have a genius quarterback guru that just is going to, hey, yeah, I can fix that guy.
Right.
And maybe that guy can. But that's the only way I think he makes it is if he gets the perfect quarterback guy that's perfect for him, that finds a way to fix all of his mechanical flaws, because I just can't see it.
Yeah, I mean, and you can also say it's on the player themselves. And I think this is one thing, there's a disconnect between a lot of evaluators, fans, and what happens to guys after they get drafted is the kids they have to do the work. They have to be addicted to getting better football, right? It's no longer a hobby. It's an addiction. And I think that's what makes the greats good, like the good ones great.
Yep.
And that's what does Anthony Richardson have that in his head? I don't know, to be honest with you. I'm not going to say yes or no.
We'll find out.
He looks like an inexperienced quarterback. And if you put a gun to my head, I think he's going to go back next year. I don't think there's any reason for him to come out. And I hope so as well, because the things he can do physically, all right, are better than anybody on this list. When you're talking about the combination of speed, power, creating on his own, which is a huge part of playing quarterback, is what can you do when things go off schedule, right? And, I mean, I'll admit this, I did not have a first-round grade on Josh Allen when he came out of Wyoming. And I think one of my mistakes there was I looked at all of the bad tape, and he had plenty of it. He had a lot of bad tape at Wyoming. And some of the body language issues I didn't like. And, so I kept the second-round grade on him personally. And now we're talking about him as being one of the top 2 or 3 quarterbacks in the NFL. What happened, right? He got hooked up with Brian Daboll and Ken Dorsey in Buffalo, and I think those were really good matches for him, like you just talked about. But he also, everything you hear about him as a person, as a worker, it's top notch. First guy in, last guy out, humble as can be, doesn't read the headlines whether they're good or bad. And Richardson does have that kind of talent. He has that kind of body, and some of these mistakes that I see Richardson make on tape right now are what I saw Josh Allen do at Wyoming. Not in the SEC, by the way, in the Mountain West. And
true.
So I also think this was another mistake by Dan Mullen last year, not putting him on the field. I wish this was year 2 for him, but I think we're going to have to wait till this time next year if you're really going to put a gun to my head and say, is this kid going to be in the 2023 class or not?